What's going on, everybody? It's Mike with the Pick 6 coming in and breaking down the top 5 games that you must see in the UFL season. If you see any games, you got to see these and you'll know exactly what's going on, or at least know what the hype behind the league is all about. Without further ado, let's jump on into it. Our first game I'm going to highlight is a matchup of what would have been the Super Spring Bowl between the Stallions and Renegades in Week 1 of the UFL season. It is sure to be the best way to start out a season and takes from the NFL mold by pairing former champions against each other to ring in the new year. This will definitely set the tone for the year, with a small caveat that a lot of these teams are going to look quite different from last year. Whether they're former USFL or XFL, their roster has changed a good bit. Heading on to the second game, I am going to be highlighting the Defenders versus the Battlehawks, opponents that took the other one out. We have a Week 5 showdowns of teams that should be quite familiar with each other, as the 2 losses to the Defenders is what ended up dooming them to missing the playoffs despite a 7-3 record last year. It also comes in at the midpoint of the season, so the Battlehawks will have ample time to adjust to whoever their new signal caller may be. This game will certainly be in top 2 of attendance for the league, second possibly to only another game that I've listed on this list to find out later. But Week 5 is looking good with the Defenders versus Battlehawks here. I heard a rumor somewhere that if you subscribe to this channel that your happiness goes up by a certain percentile. So let's get to 300 people having that multiplier on their lives, you know? Hey, let's do it. All right, back to the video. Next up, we have a game I chose because I think these two teams are the most alike in play style, and the Roughnecks versus the Showboats coming in Week 10. I also think that coming in Week 10, that both the Roughnecks and Showboats will be in a must-win situation for the postseason. The Showboats are a hungry team after missing the playoffs last year, and the Roughnecks underperformed in the latter half to the dismay of all of us involved, so they have to be hungry too. So the stage is set for one of these contenders to set the tone for their UFL standing and heading into the playoffs for the first season. And my fourth team I'm going to highlight here is going to be the Arlington Renegades versus the Houston Roughnecks. The battle for Texas, and a rematch from a playoff game that left Houston stunned last year. I can still remember walking off with the coach in utter disbelief at this game. There's no way anybody on the Roughnecks from last year has forgotten the taste of the loss to the Renegades, especially because they went on to win the ship as well. I expect sparks to fly and a slate of bricks to be added to the foundation that is to be a legendary interstate rivalry between these two. Arlington comes into the game running it back with their original cast for the most part, while Houston will try and hit the ground running with a wave of new fresh faces in important positions. The fifth game and last but not least game is going to be the Stallions versus Defenders. It is another Week 4 game here, a lot of bangers in Week 4, but if you can see any game, it has to be this one. I personally believe these teams will both be 3-0 coming into this game, and no matter the outcome, these teams will likely meet in the postseason somehow as well. This game also might set the attendance and viewership record early on, considering the hype behind the teams and their roster's performance at this point. With Teamu back, I think the Defenders have what it takes to keep up with the Stallions' dynamic offense, and it's going to end up being whatever defense performs the best. No matter what, these are both the 2 best-rounded teams heading into the season, and I cannot wait to see this matchup. Are you excited for the UFL season? Did I miss any games that you're hyped for that I totally grazed over in this top 5 list? Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time,